Now, the Spilotro family and the Lombardo family are very close. Their ancestors go way back to Bari, Italy. They came from Bari, Italy to Chicago, right there in the patch, Grand and Ogden. They remain close, almost like family members, till this day. Now, Joey and Tony grew up in the outfit together. They did a lot of hits, a lot of scores together, remained close for many years. And Joey told Dr. Pat Spilotro that if he was not in prison when the Spilotros were killed, that would have never happened. But I disagree. I don't think God himself could have saved the Spilotro brothers. What do you guys think? Do you think if Joey was out, it would have made a difference? Here's the late mayor of Rosemont, Ronald Stevens, a very good friend of Joey Lombardo's, probably one of the most corrupt mayors in the country. As you can see behind him, looks like another multi-million-dollar project they're working on. He denied knowing any of the outfit guys, but he was seen repeatedly having dinner and socializing with No Nose DeFranzo, Joey Lombardo, Iupa, and Marco D'Amico. Now, here's a little gem in my neighborhood. This used to be one of the old patches, Smith Park. This is where Joey Lombardo, a lot of his friends and associates used to hang out. And Joey donated a lot of the baseball, basketball, softball uniforms, and even equipment to keep as many of the kids in the neighborhood at the park participate in sports and to keep them off of drugs. I like hearing stories from the guys that actually grew up in the Grand Avenue neighborhood, guys that worked with and knew Joey Lombardo, Tony Spilotro, Marshall Cafoni. And they told me that some of the lectures these older guys would give them, man, they would tear into them, man, because some of their parents would go up to Joey, please help my son. Some of these kids were hooked on tick and coke. And they would tell him, you can have any job you want in the city or work with us, but if you're on drugs, we won't deal with you. There's a nice, quiet neighborhood joint, Grand and Noble, called Bella Nota. Small, quiet, intimate, reasonably priced. I used to give this place a 9 out of 10. Now I'll probably give it a 7 out of 10. But the food is delicious. The service is okay. There's plenty of places to park. But this is one of Joe Lombardo's spots back in the day. This is where he used to wine and dine, where he could sit quietly. Nobody would bother him. And they'd have parties upstairs. Now, just west of Grand and Halstead at Grand and May are two staples in Chicago, Diamato's Bakery and Bari Foods. Family owned. They've been around forever. This is kitty quarter from Mikey Switek's old social club. And Joey Lombardo used to spend a lot of time here. Pretty much every morning, you'd see him with his coffee in his hand, always talking to people, and usually smoking a cigar. But next time you're in the area, stop by Diamato's and Bari. Now, going back before the Family Secrets trial, Joey Lombardo would come to Vinny's Sub and have a nice sandwich and lunch, probably 2-3 days a week. And then obviously bullshit with the guys next door. This is the Imperial Hardware store where a lot of the guys hang out today in Vinny's Sub, right there on Grand and Racine, across the street from Salerno's Pizzeria, another good Grand Avenue neighborhood spot. Definitely worth checking out. Now here's an old neighborhood Italian deli, Fiore, owned by Joe Fiore and his family, neighbors and good friends of Joey Lombardo, even going back to Bari, Italy. This is just down the street from Joey's house on Ohio, a place he walked to daily. I used to go here for myself for the Italian sausage and the fresh deli. And not only is it closed, but they tore down the building. Now here's the Jimmy Kozo compound. Not only do they own this building you see in front of you, but there's a huge nightclub to the left of it, and there was a grocery store across the street that was all owned by the Kozo family. This is a spot where Joey Lombardo and a small army of Grand Avenue guys used to hang out daily. They would barbecue, watch the fireworks go off, watch the girls go by, and probably were doing some planning and scheming as well. Now, a personal guy like Joey, obviously he has a lot of friends, and one of his friends is the Greek restaurant owner, Alex Dana, he owns Rosebud. This is the original Rosebud in the Taylor Street neighborhood, right across the street from Hawkeyes on Taylor and Laughlin. And this is one of Joey Lombardo's favorite places to eat and socialize. Men like Nono Zafranzo, Toots Caruso, Marco D'Amico used to all hang out here as well. Now here's one of Joey's favorite spots before he got pinched. I think this is probably where he had one of his last meals, was at La Scarola. And there was a story one time where him and his brother Rocky took an entourage of people here, family and friends, out to dinner, and they got into a heated argument and who's going to pay. And it ended up neither one of them paid the bill. They stiffed the restaurant, but they made sure they gave the waiter a huge tip. Now, during the family secrets trial, the prosecution asked Joey, how did you end up in the same room as some of the most powerful men in the Chicago outfit? Joey said that he was at a funeral. He had a taste for a nice roast beef sandwich, so he stopped at this restaurant. They seen him. They said, Joe, come on over and had a drink. You can see Joey's the only one in a suit there standing up. The prosecution thinks this was the making ceremony of Joey. Joey denied knowing all the men on the stand except Arcardo and Iupa. Now here, right here in the Smith Park patch, is the Year-Round Social Club. This is one of Joey's clubs back in the day, not too far from his house, as well as other clubs like the Boomerang Club, the Survivor Club, and the Bocce Club. Kind of like Bensonhurst, New York City, where they had clubs like every other block. But inside here is a real nice bar, video poker machines, and a really cool pool table. This is an active club that's open today. Now, this is one of Mikey Switek's old clubs. It was also Joey's club at one time, right there on Grand and May. This is one of the oldest social clubs in the city. Inside, they had an old wooden, really cool antique phone booth that they placed bets in. They also had a picture of Marilyn Monroe where she was wearing no panties. They put a piece of black electrical tape to cover up her private parts. But this is a club on Grand and May that Joey hung out at. Now, Joey used to spend a lot of time here at this place here. It was kind of like a little machine shop / garage on Grand and Racine, right across the street from Kozo's compound, right near Vinny's Subs and Imperial Hardware Store. You would always see Joey outside working on a car or working on a piece of equipment, usually smoking a cigar, and he always had a couple of friends around him. Now here's a photo of Joey's house on Ohio Street. This house was just sold for $600,000, and I heard that it was sold to a close friend of Joey Lombardo, one of Joey's old drivers. And Joey testified at the family secret trial that he would threaten to strangle his ex-wife all the time, but he never did, and that even though they were divorced, he lived in the basement, she lived upstairs. Now check out the inside decor of Joey's home. I mean, straight out of a movie, straight out of 70s decor. Look at all the wallpaper. Probably had plastic on the furniture. I would have loved to have taken a tour, or if they even had an auction like they did at Tony Arcardo's house in River Forest. But these are some of the inside views of Joey's home, and it looked like a really wonderful home back in the day. Now, during the family secret trial, Joey, he came across likable, charming, not like a big mob tough guy that the prosecution portrayed him. He was small in stature, kind of frail. He had an oversized, usually a gray suit he wore. He had a short Caesar cut haircut, clean shaving, glasses. He usually had a cane or sat in a wheelchair. Now imagine seeing this guy 10, 20 feet away in a federal courtroom. Frank Calabrese Sr., he told Junior that when Joey came home from prison, that they shelved Joey and that he lost a lot of power and lost most of his crew. And why he's saying this, I'm watching Joey's reaction as he's staring at Frank Calabrese, listening to this. Now, even though Joey came across charming and likable and funny on the stand, he could not handle the direct cross-examination of Mitch Mars. Mitch Mars was waiting his whole career to get an outfit guy like Joey Lombardo on the stand. He was asking Joey why he went on the lam, why he was hiding. Joey said he felt he could never get a fair trial with the other defendants. And he asked him, when you were on the run, was this some kind of disguise? And they showed this photo. Everyone started laughing. Joey said, well, maybe a little, with a grin. Now here's lightweight boxing champion Johnny Lira, legend in the Grand Avenue neighborhood. I met him after the trial. We started drinking together at Richard's Bar. He was a character witness for Joey Lombardo, 1 of 3. And he basically said that Joey was just a regular neighborhood guy who did anything he could for his neighbors and friends. He was very generous, blue-collar guy, and that they would work on cars and machinery together. Now, does this look like some big mob boss to you? According to the prosecutor, Joey was the boss of the Grand Avenue crew. Joey denied it and said George Bush and Dick Cheney have a bigger crew. Joey had 2 other character witnesses besides Johnny Lira. One was his mistress, said what a wonderful man he was, what a great lover he was. Everybody in the courtroom laughed. And then he had a neighborhood kid say that Joey was like a godfather in the neighborhood. He helped people get jobs and paid people's food bills and rent. There's a classic photo of Joey, one of his friends, and another guy shooting the breeze with John Bulldog Drummond, famous reporter in Chicago. John Drummond got to know these guys pretty well. I think the outfit guys definitely respected him. There was really never no beef between them. And if you notice, they're standing right outside the Dirksen Federal Building. Not quite sure what Joey was doing there, but this is a pretty cool photo. Now in the end, Judge James Zagel believed the jury and gave Joey Lombardo the max. There was a rumor that Joey threatened the judge. I'm not so sure if that's true. But, you tell me they're going to send an 80-something-year-old man like Joey Lombardo to a supermax prison in Colorado. That doesn't make any sense to me. But God rest Joey Lombardo.